Morning, guys. How is everybody doing? It is Thursday morning, and I want to say welcome to everybody into the live this morning. I want to thank you all for coming. This morning, we are doing what we do, and that is we are continuing to read the Bible from the beginning to the end. Now, when you come into my morning live, I'm sure every morning there are new people, so I still have to make the disclaimer that when you come into my morning live where I'm reading the Bible, it has nothing to do with any religious persuasion or any intent to religiously persuade anybody one way or the other. It's with no intentions of converting or convicting anybody when it comes on to their religious convictions. I am simply here. Simply, I am on a quest to read this Bible from the beginning to the end, and I have decided to read it out loud so that those of you who either don't like to read or have never thought about reading the Bible for yourselves can listen. You know, hold on a second there, guys. Give me 2 seconds. Oh my. Mm. Oh my, something went wrong here, guys. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is or how to fix it. Okay. All right. I'm sorry about that, guys. Welcome, Joseph. Thank you so much for coming. So this morning we are going to continue doing what we do, and that is read the Bible. We are not here to convict, condemn, convict, condemn, or convert anybody. We are simply here to read the book that was given to us. After all, most of us at least, were indoctrinated. And I'm not worried about y'all, me. I was indoctrinated and socialized into believing, into thinking that I believe what the Bible says and to follow what this Bible says, but I've never actually been given any practical proof. Say, okay, this is why we claim this book to be our religious authority. Just read it. The Bible says so, just do it. So I have taken it upon myself to read it for myself so that I can I can say, well, I saw that in the Bible, or I can quote it, or I can get the context of what was being said. Who spoke? To whom did they speak? Under what circumstances were they having this conversation? And what is the context? What were they talking about for the person to speak in the way they did? And so far, for those of you who have been following me on this journey for the last 2.5 years, we have come across some very striking. Watch out when some say me have me one way. You think I have me one way, me have? Why I decided to read this Bible? Me have me one way, yes. At least I get something right this Thursday morning. Anyway, so. But anyway, yeah. So, as I was saying, as I've been reading the Bible for myself for the last 2.5 years, I've come across some very striking statements that have made me stop and say, huh? What? Is that really in the Bible? The context is, whoa, it's gruesome. There have been some gruesome events in the Bible. I know a lot of people, like, they dismiss those things. The people pick and choose what they want to accept out of the Bible. And that's everybody's business. Even though there are people who they can pick and choose what they want, but others can't. They will be quick to condemn you to hell and some kind of a burning fire that's going to consume you one day, and all of this fear tactic. But yesterday, when we were reading from St. Luke chapter 17 and 18, it wasn't any different that we came across some striking words in the Bible. I'm going to go back. Welcome, Charles. What's up? How are you doing? And I'm going to go back for those of you who were not here yesterday. I'm going to go back to St. Luke chapter 17 and verse 33 through to 37. You know, almost every morning when we read, we come across something quite striking, something that makes us have to pause and say, "Oh, I didn't know this was in the Bible. What in the world? What does this mean? I mean, why were they talking like that?" And a lot of people might say, you know, it was because of the translation. The Bible has been translated several times. And so, because of the translation, the words may come up different. You know, people will find all kinds of excuses. But when I am reading it and I get the context of what is being said, I don't have a choice but to believe what was being said. If you are telling me that because of the translation, whatever is being said now was not what was meant to be said, do you know what was meant to be said? Present me with exactly what was meant to be said. Because if it's just from your thoughts, if what was being said, it's only in your thoughts, you have decided that a particular statement was what was meant to be said, then I have that right too to determine what I thought was being said. So unless you can provide me with some concrete proof, which I'm sure you can't, you know, about what exactly was said, the two of us are going to stick to our thoughts and move right along. Fair enough? Fair enough. But before I start reading, I wanted to wait for one particular person to come into the live. Andy is here. Good morning, AG. Bless up yourself. Good morning to you. Welcome into the live, AG. Thank you so much for coming. I've been waiting for you all morning, AG. I've been waiting for you since 4 o'clock to come into the live. And now that you are here, we can start the reading. Thank you to the other people who are here. Thank you all for popping in. If you have your book Bible or your Google Bible, read along with us. I don't know. This is the first time I'm putting the Bible out as I read. And y'all see, I may not have much light, but we're going to move right along. So as I said, I was going to read St. Luke chapter 17, verse 33 through 37. Again, before we move on to chapters 19, to chapters 19 and 18. Now, guys, don't forget that when I come here in the mornings to read the Bible with us and for us, I do not endorse any particular religion or denomination. I am simply on a quest to read the Bible for myself, and I've chosen to do it out loud. So those of you who can't be bothered with reading could listen. You know, my take on things may not be popular, but that is not the point. I'm not here to be popular. I am here on my own journey, and I'm sharing this journey out loud. So when I fumble and I bumble and I have absolutely no clue, you will hear it, but take heart. It is my journey, not yours. But anyway, win some. You know, think was waiting on AG. Oh my God, win some, so me can't read the Bible and I tell lies. Some that wait for AG. Really win some. All right, all right. Me I go wait till after the reading is over. Okay, AG, watch yourself. All right, guys. So come along with me and let us do this. All right. So in St. Luke chapter 17, he was talking about, reminding the people about the instant with Lot and Lot's wife, and how his wife had turned into a pillar of salt, if you all remember that story. And it went on to say in chapter 33, in chapter 17 and verse 33, correction there. Trevor, namesake, how you doing? Bless up yourself. Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it, and whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it. I tell you, in that night, there shall be two men in one bed. The one shall be taken, and the other shall be left. Two women shall be grinding together. The one shall be taken, and the other left. Two men shall be in the field. The one shall be taken, and the other left. And they answered and said unto they answered and said unto him, Where, Lord? And he said unto them, Wheresoever the body is, thither will the eagles be gathered together. That's the end of Luke chapter 17. You all can go back and read it. I'm a little lost struck about the words that's being used right there, and that whole particular area there is a little bit concerning. And don't tell me that it's because of translation, because certainly the translation, if that's what you want to chalk it down to, there are other words and other circumstances and other situations that could have been referenced. So I'm going to work with what is on the page. All right. We are going to move right along. We are going to move right along into chapter 19 and 20. Interesting. Winsome. No, Sister Winsome. Not from that angle. Not from that angle, Sister Winsome. Not at all. Why it never said a wife and a husband could be in bed and one be taken and leaving the other? When I hear people saying every single thing in life and every single lifestyle there has been support in the Bible, I usually say, hey, to the no. Here I am reading it for myself. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah? But we're going to continue. We are going to be reading Luke chapter 19 this morning. And Jesus entered and passed through Jericho. And behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus, which was the chief among the publicans, and he was very rich. And he sought to see Jesus, who he was, and could not for the press, because he was little in stature. So Zacchaeus was a very short man, a small man, a little man. He was little and rich. He was little and rich, Sister Winsome. Um, but he couldn't get close to Jesus because of the crowd. When they say because of the press, that means all the people, the crowd was so thick, he could not get through to him. And he ran before and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was to pass that way. And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and he saw Zacchaeus in the tree. And he called out to him and said, Zacchaeus, make haste and come down, for today I must abide in your house. Today. And he made haste and came down and received him joyfully. And when they saw it, they all murmured. Me see them people that can murmur, I see. People that murmur about every single thing. And when they saw it, they all murmured, saying that he was gone to be guest with a man that was a sinner. And Zacchaeus stood and said unto the Lord, Behold, Lord, the half of my goods I give to the poor. And if I have taken anything from any man by false accusation, I restore him fourfold. And Jesus said unto him, This day is salvation come to this house, for so much as he also is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man is come to seek and to save that which was lost. And as they heard these things, he added and spake a parable, because he was near to Jerusalem, and because they thought that the kingdom of God should immediately appear. God said, God, good morning. How are you doing, my sweet love? They have been murmured. They have been murmuring. Which way are we going with that? Desireen, good morning, Desireen. How are you doing? I've been waiting for you. Thank you for popping in. Thank you so much for coming in, my dear sister. When some say, I should be reminded that I wasn't here since 4 o'clock. Lord Winsome, you don't have to call me out so loud. Oh, wow. They have been murmuring for a long time. They're always murmuring, always whispering. And the thing is, they're always whispering. And it's like Jesus always know what they're whispering about behind the scenes, but they're still whispering. You know what's going on in their minds. Yeah, it's like when you are in the company of people and you see them whispering. You can tell. More times than not, you tell what them whispering about in your presence. I can't with you, Winsome. Winsome, you're not going to corrupt me this morning, You're not corrupt me this morning as I read the Bible. Winsome said, Lady saw say it was under the sycamore tree. I remember that one pretty well. Well, this time Zacchaeus went up into the sycamore tree so that he could see Jesus as Jesus passed by. Jesus called him to get down because he's going to his house. And poor Zacchaeus, well, he wasn't poor, he was a rich man, but he thought, my God, Jesus is coming to me. I've got to be good. So he started telling Jesus all the things that he had done that was good, how he gave to the poor and how anybody who he owed anything and didn't give it back in time, whatever, he would give them fourfold, etc. He just started to lay himself out to tell Jesus how good of a person he was. Let us continue. We are on to chapter 19, verse 12. Verse 11. And as they heard these things, he added and spake a parable, because he was near to Jerusalem, and because they thought that the kingdom of God should immediately appear. He said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a faraway country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them £10, and said unto them, Occupy till I come. But his citizens hated him, and sent a message after him, saying, We will not have this man to reign over us. And it came to pass that when he had returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to be called unto him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading. Then came the first, saying, Lord, thy pound hath gained 10 pounds. So this first person here invested that pound to now have 10 pounds. And he said unto him, Well, 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 thou good servant, because thou hast been faithful in a very little, have thou authority over 10 cities. And the second came, saying, Lord, thy pound hath gained 5 pounds. And he said likewise to him, Well, 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 thou also over 5 pounds. Be thou also over 5 cities. And another came, saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound, which I have kept laid up in a napkin. For I feared thee, because thou art an austere man. Thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapest that thou didst not sow. Oh, this one very audacious too, huh? Let's read that again. This is now the third person. And another came, saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound, which I have kept laid up in a napkin, for I feared thee, because thou art an austere man. Thou takest up that which thou did not lay down, and you reap what you didn't sow. That's a man that come out strong. Him come out for Jesus very strong. Very, very strong. Huh. And he said unto him, Out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knowest that I was an austere man, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow. Good God. Jesus put him in that place. You wicked man. You wicked servant. When you see me, I take up what my name put on, and I reap what I never sow. O Lord. Verse 23. Wherefore then gavest not thou my money unto the bank, that at my coming I might have required mine own with usury? And he said unto them that stood by, Take from him the pound, and give it to him that hath 10 pounds. Jesus said, Take that pound from this old feisty man, and give that pound to the one who had acquired 10 pounds. Remember the first man? Yeah, the first man had acquired 10 pounds on the 1 pound that he was given. For I say unto you, that unto every one which hath shall be given, and from him that hath not, even that he hath shall be taken away from him. For those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. How are we gone back? How are we gone back to the slaying? Jesus said, For those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring them hither and slay them before me. Want to hear that? I never know Jesus was ordering people to bring people who don't believe in him to slay them. But see to right here in the Bible. He said, but those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me. And when he had spoken this way, he went before, ascending up to Jerusalem. Verse 29. And it came to pass, when he was come near to Bethphage and Bethany, at the mount called the Mount of Olives, he sent two of his disciples, saying, go ye into the village over against you. When it said against you, it means like the village that is beside you. Beside your village, I should say. Over against you. In which, in the Bible usually say in the which, but that's not how we speak normally. In which at your entering he shall find a colt tied, whereon yet never man sat. So this animal had never been ridden. This is a young animal who not strong enough yet to carry burden. Okay? Loose him and bring him here. And if any man ask you, why do you loose him? Thus shall he say unto him, because the Lord hath need of him. And they that were sent went their way, and found even as he had said unto them. So he told them to go over to the city next to them, and you're going to see a colt there tied up. Loose it and bring it, come give to me. If anybody asks you, where you go with this colt, I know you're one, tell them the Lord said to bring it to him. So bring it, come and give to me. And when the disciples went, they in fact saw the colt tied up there. And as they were loosing the colt, the owner of the colt said unto them, why are you loosing my animal? Why are you loosing my colt? And they said, the Lord hath need of him. And they brought him to Jesus, and they cast their garments upon the colt, and they set Jesus on the animal. And as he went, they spread their clothes in the way. They were using their clothes to make the red carpet for the colt to walk on with Jesus riding on him. And when he was come nigh, even now at the descent of the Mount of Olives, the whole multitude of disciples began to rejoice and praise God with a loud voice for all the mighty works that they had seen, saying, blessed be the King that cometh in the name of the Lord, peace in heaven and glory in the highest. And some of the Pharisees from among the multitude said unto him, Master, rebuke thy disciples. And he answered and said unto them, I tell you that, if these should hold their peace, the stones would immediately cry out. And when he was come near, he beheld the city, and he wept over it, saying, if thou hast known, even thou, at least in this thy day, the things which belong unto thy peace, but now they are hidden from thine eyes. For the days shall come upon thee that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round about, and keep thee in on every side, and shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee. And they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation. And he went into the temple and began to cast out them that sold therein, and them that bought. So the people who were in the temple trading, selling and buying, he went in and cast them out, saying unto them, It is written, My house is a house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. And he taught daily in the temple. But the chief priests and the scribes and the chief of the people sought to destroy him, and could not find what they might do, for all the people were very attentive to hear him. So they were now conspiring to destroy him. But what when some say, oh, sometimes I assume you all know that a colt is a young horse. Well, thank you, Sister Winsome, for saying that. I thank you for saying that, because I thought, because we read about it before in and I had said that, but thank you, Sister Winsome. I forgot. My bad. My bad. So people, be reminded that a colt is a young horse. All right. Some people say that Jesus rode on a donkey when he went up to the Mount of Olives, but the Bible never said that. The Bible said it was a colt, and a colt is a young horse. All right, Winsome, we got that. God, she agree with you, Winsome. That's okay. Legend is in the house. Legend, good morning. How are you doing? Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. Thanks to everybody else who came in. Everybody else who is here. I appreciate you all. We are going to continue with the reading of the Bible. We are on to, for those of you who are just coming, we are on to the book of St. Luke, chapter 19. All right, where Jesus just rode on a colt. The colt he sent his two disciples to go loose somebody's colt. Let me say them never have the respect for asking people them for the colt. Them just go and just take it like that. Eh? Without asking. Okay. Let us continue with the reading. Verse 45, And he went into the temple and began to cast them out that sold there, and them that bought, saying unto them, It is written, My house is a house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. And he taught daily in the temple, but the chief priests and the scribes and the chief of the people sought to destroy him, and could not find what they might do, for all the people were very attentive to hear him. Yeah, them don't know them gonna destroy him, because all these people are so close to him. They're always very near. They're always tending to him. So and now they have to go sit and strategize how they might destroy him without the people attacking them, because they see how much the people now loved him. And that is the end of chapter 19. Chapter 19 sort of took me out suddenly right there. But we're going to move on to chapter 20. So if you have your book Bible or your Google Bible, yeah, read along. It's still the more people take. but when the man call him a thief and a style, he get mad and tell him to slay the man and anybody else who not believe in. Ain't that something? He said, when the man said, Me know you, me wrap up your little pound in our napkin. Me wrap up your little pound in our napkin to give it back to you, because you have a habit. Me know you. You have a habit of taking one to give to you. He got mad. But at the same time, he sent them people to go take a colt, go take an animal that wasn't his. The man tie up an animal there for his own purpose. And then he sent the people with absolutely no respect to say, all right, go over there. So the man over there is called Joshua or whatever is his name. Tell him I say to send me that animal so I can use it. I'm telling people, them go over there so when I go see one animal tie up. I'm saying that according to the Bible, you know, and me I make it up. So go over there so you see one animal tie up over the community next to yours. Yeah, just loose it and carry it come. Nobody has ridden on it before. It is a young animal. Bring it come give to me. And anybody who ask you why you take them animal, tell them I may send you for it. All right. Winsome. Andrea, good morning, my sweets. How are you doing? How are you doing? Winsome, you are so right, you know. Winsome said it's still a one people take when I give to them, and that is that is true, but never did expect that from Jesus still. Right, Andrea? But anyway, we'll continue reading. We are on Luke chapter 20, my lovely people. And it came to pass that on one of those days, as he taught the people in the temple and preached the gospel, the chief priests and the scribes came upon him with the elders and spake unto him, saying, Tell us, by what authority doest thou these things? Or who is it that gave you this authority? And he answered and said unto them, I will also ask you one thing, and you better answer me. The baptism of John, was it from heaven or of men? And they reasoned with themselves, saying, If we shall say it was from heaven, he will say, Why then believed ye him not? And if we shall say it was of men, all the people will stone us, for they be persuaded that John was a prophet. And they answered that they could not tell whence it was. Winsome said, that's why we have so much animal teeth. Because Winsome, no wonder really rub Winsome the wrong way. Winsome said, that's why we have so much animal teeth. Everything have to come to pass. The people them, Winsome, are you saying therefore that the people who are stealing other people's animals, they are an example which they are following? What God say about Psalm? God say, if you read Psalm 24, verse 1 to 2, and I'm going to oblige. God says Psalms 24. Isn't Psalms mostly songs and prayers? I think Psalm is mostly songs and prayers. But let me go look and see what God say. God say, if you read Psalm 24, 1 and 2. What that say? Now hear he. Psalm 24. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. For he hath founded it upon the seas and established it upon... What? What I got to do with what we're reading now? Talk to me, sis. Come and miss something. Oh, so because it said the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, that means everything in the earth is so you have a right to take... No, sir. No, sir. In this case that we are reading about, you can't just take people things, so. I didn't think that was thoughtful or respectful. Regardless. Where's the Colossians 1 verse 16 and 17? Our Colossians there again. Yeah, send me now. Go way past which part me not read yet, you know. Colossians supposed to be after Ephesians, Philippians, so. Where's about Colossians 1, verse 16 and 17, what that say? For by him were all things created that is in heaven. How do cad man? How are you this morning, cad? I go oblige and read it just because. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions, or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. And he is therefore, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist. Even so, me still stand by what me say. Even so, and could I say he created all things, everything he created, he them. Still, still, me still stand by what me say. That I thought it would have been respectful. Just like when him going at the people them house, they follow tradition and wash his feet and stuff. Yeah. Them not say, well, him a God, him no need feet wash. Because when him can just order the dust to come off and it come off. They still followed tradition. And part of their tradition was that you can't take a man's things without asking for it, without it being given to you. Stealing, per their tradition, was against their laws. So I understand, I think it was some kind of selective obedience there. Yeah. Combined with a push of authority. If where say it have to fulfill some things in the Bible, we don't have answer for it. When some, well, we not have no answer. These things have been written hundreds and hundreds of years ago, where the people documented their experience. That means he can. Winsome said that means he can do just about anything he wants. Well, I guess it's shown here, it's being proven, but I still don't think that it would have been the correct way. And considering too that it was against their own laws to do such a thing, it was against their own Jewish laws to just take something that did not belong to you. So we are going to continue with the reading. Let's continue. I said what I said. Yeah. Then they clearly wasn't following tradition. Exactly. They weren't following tradition. That right there, Cad. That is true. Because remember the people that kept holding Jesus' feet to the fire with everything. They tried to hold his feet to the fire with the sacrifices. They tried to hold his feet to the fire with divorces. They tried to hold his feet to the fire with the eating on the Sabbath. The picking of the corn on the Sabbath. They tried to hold his feet in many instances, and each time they tried to hold his feet to the fire, it was him doing something contrary to what they had been taught by the laws of Moses. So certainly you are right. Then they weren't following our tradition since the Old Testament, because they took off a lot of stuff. That is true. They took a lot of stuff that did not belong to them. And that was not a part of their law for sure, to take somebody's stuff that didn't belong to you. But here it is being presented in a way as though if you are Lord, if you are ruler, if you have some power and authority in the community, then it is okay for you. Nobody can talk to you. Are there some politicians here get them something from? Nobody can talk to you. Nobody can tell you what to do or how to do. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want without any repercussions. That's how I see it. But we're going to continue anyway. We're going to continue reading. Welcome into the live, guys. Thank you all so much for coming. For those of you who are new here, a very special welcome to you. Those of you who are just coming in, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. No, 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 Winsome. That was not what I tried to say. That's not what I said at all. That's not what I said. I said it was against their laws to take things that did not belong to them. According to the laws that were given to them by Moses, it was against the law. But here in the New Testament, we see them taking stuff. Remember, it historically, they had been taking stuff, I should say. Remember when they left out of Egypt and went over into, when they crossed the River Jordan first and went into Jericho, you know, that wasn't where the stealing started. It started once they got out of the wilderness and started slaying everybody in their path and taking the land and the gold and whatever it is. And at that time, they justified it by saying their God had promised them a land where they will reign and their numbers are going to be so grand that it was going to be innumerable like the sand on the ocean shore. And so they used that as their motivation to slay those people and take their land forcefully. And it was then that they were establishing their religion and their authority in the region. They wanted to get a piece of the pie. Remember, by then, Egypt had already been established, and several other countries around, they already had established leaders and their own rules of law, and the Jewish people didn't. So Moses felt as though, well, it was his authority now to establish a place, a politics, and a purpose for the Jewish people. And so that's what he did. But let us continue with the reading. For those of you just coming, we are on to the book of Luke, chapter 20. Now, no, people are thief land. People are thief land, them are thief animal, them are thief whatever they can get their hands on, even to this day. But let us continue. Luke chapter 20 and verse 7. And they answered that they could not tell whence it was. And Jesus said unto them, Neither tell I you by what authority I do these things. Jesus pull a fast one upon them. Tell me, who did send John the Baptist to come baptize people? If you can't tell me that, then me will tell you by which authority I come to preach and heal and do all these things that I do. People them say, well, if we say it's by heaven, them are going to say, well, then why me could never did believe John the Baptist when he was preaching? If we say it's by man, they're going to say, well, have no authority. Man no have no authority to give any other man authority. The people going to stone us. So we have to just draw a blank and say we don't know. We're not going to pick any sides, because damn if you do and damn if we don't. And Jesus said unto them, Neither tell I you by what authority I do these things. Then he began to speak to the people this parable. He said, A certain man planted a vineyard and let it forth to husbandmen, and went into a faraway country for a very long time. And at the season he went, a servant to the husbandman, that they should give him of the fruit of the vineyard. But the husbandmen beat him and sent him away empty. And you know who they call husbandman, right? It's not husband as in husband. What we talk, it's the people who took care of his field and his animals. Okay, like in agriculture when we talk about husbandry, right? That's what he's talking about. Verse 11. And again he sent another servant, and they beat him also. Good Lord. And entreated him shamefully, and sent him away empty. And again he sent a third, and they wounded him also, and cast him out. Then said the Lord to the vineyard, Then said the Lord of the vineyard, What shall I do? I will send my beloved son. It may be they will reverence him when they see him. Okay, that sounds like the parable Jesus is saying of himself. It's almost like this his father sending, who would he have sent first? Send a prophet first, and the people did not accept. Sent a second prophet, the people didn't accept. Now he's sending the third prophet. Is that where he's going with this? I'm not sure, but let us continue. Verse 14. But when the husbandmen saw him, they reasoned amongst themselves, saying, This is the heir. Come, let us kill him, that the inheritance may be ours. Okay. So they cast him out of the vineyard and killed him. What therefore shall the Lord of the vineyard do unto them? He shall come and destroy these husbandmen. But they have no love. They don't have no love for the first two either. And then when the man sends his heir, that's his son, the person who is supposed to inherit all of his riches, they slay that person too. They slay that person. So what they are about is inheriting the riches. That's what they are about. They want the man's riches, and they don't want anybody else to get it. If you are willing to even slay the heir, the person who is supposed to inherit everything after this master has died, because you want what this man has, and you don't want him to have a blood family to leave it for. You ain't got no love for nobody, not even for yourself in that situation. But let us continue. Everything falling apart here, so. Ice Mint, bless up yourself. How you doing, Ice Mint? Beg your Ice Mint and two stagger back there. Good to see you, my love. Good to see you. Let us continue. Verse 11. And again he sent another servant, and they beat him also, and entreated him shamefully, and sent him away empty. And again he sent a third, and they wounded him also, and cast him out. Then said the Lord of the vineyard, What shall I do? I will send my beloved son. It may be they will reverence him when they see him. But when the husbandmen saw him, they reasoned amongst themselves, saying, This is the heir. Come, let us kill him, that the inheritance may be ours. So they cast him out of the vineyard and killed him. What therefore shall the Lord do unto them when he return to the vineyard? He shall come and destroy these husbandmen, and shall give the vineyard to others. And when they heard it, they said, God forbid. And he beheld them and said, What is this then that is written? The stone which the builders rejected, the same is become the head of the corner. Whosoever shall fall upon that stone shall be broken, but on whomsoever it shall fall, it will grind him to powder. Yeah. When some say if you see how long red eye they boat, I know a long time people ready I win some. Win some not easy. Durban! How are you doing, Durban? Bless up your nice, clean self. Durban, good morning to you, my love. How are you doing? Happy Thursday morning to you. Good to see you. I am doing great. Every morning that I am vertical is a great morning. So I am doing great, my love. Good to see you. Welcome. Let us continue. Verse 19. And the chief priests and the scribes the same hour sought to lay hands on him, and they feared the people, for they perceived that he had spoken this parable against them. And they watched him and sent forth spies, which should feign themselves as just men, that they might take hold of his words, that so they might deliver him unto the power and authority of the governor. And they asked him, saying, Master, we know that thou sayest and teachest rightly, neither acceptest thou the person of any, but teachest the way of God truly. Is it lawful for us to give tribute unto Caesar or no? But he perceived their craftiness and said unto them, Why are you tempting me? Show me a penny. Just show me a penny. Whose image is on that penny? And they answered and said, Caesar's. And he said unto them, Well, render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things which are God's. And they could not take hold of his words before the people, and they marveled at his answer, and held their peace. Let's continue. Verse 27. Then came to him certain of the Sadducees, which deny that there is any resurrection. And they ask him, saying, Master, Moses wrote unto us, if any man's brother die, having a wife, and he die without children, that his brother should take his wife, and raise up seeds unto his brother. There were therefore 7 brethren, and the first took a wife, and he died without children. And the second took her to be his wife, and he also died before they could have children. And the third took her, and he also died before they could have children. And the fourth, and the fifth, and the sixth, and the seventh, and then lastly, the woman also died. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife shall she be? For 7 of them had her to be his wife. All right. All right. They got a point. They got a point. Verse 34. And Jesus answering said unto them, The children of this world marry, and are given into marriage, but they which shall be accounted worthy to obtain that world, and the resurrection from the dead, neither marry nor are given to marriage. Kuya, now this is the priest them use. How are this father? Eh eh. Oh. So you see, the Bible really speaks for everybody. We were talking with so what kind of family ram this? With some I'm not going to with you, no sister Winsome. With some say what kind of family ram this. As you know family ram, I mean It was their tradition that the brother, that if you're married and you don't have any kids with your wife and you die, your brother has to marry your wife to continue. You all remember the story of Judah and Tamar? For those of you who are just coming out, those of you who don't know, there's a story of Judah and Tamar. Judah, Tamar was married to Judah's first son, and that son died before him and Tamar could have any children. And the second son, Judah had to give the second son to Tamar, and that second son also died. They can only take the same wife if the brother before died. So the people were presenting him with what would be like a real life situation. Like, what would you do in this situation? What would you choose to do? How would we resolve the conflicts that would come about with this situation? Since Jesus is talking about the people who are following the laws and the benefits that they would receive by following these laws, which would include being resurrected and going somewhere with him. They had a practical question, because if I'm in this situation where I am a man and my brother dies and leaves his wife without children, and I must marry that woman per the law and have children with that woman, but then I marry her and I die before we're able to have any children, and that happens to all 7 of my brothers, and then the woman dies, and none of us ever had a chance to impregnate her, to have a child with her. So when we die, and this resurrection that Jesus is preaching about, who is going to be considered to have been the woman's husband? And that is a practical question. Who are you going to consider? It's like these days when we see the trial in the courts. Did you think I break the law, or did you think I didn't break the law? There are some things that are not as cut and dry, that you have to take to a higher authority. It has to go to the Supreme Court of the state, just like how with abortion. There the lines, people are divided. The minds are divided when it comes to abortion. There are some people who take on a biblical tone and they say, well, the Bible says thou shalt not kill. And when you commit an abortion, that means you have somebody. And then there are others who say, well, a woman has the right to her body. It's her body. You can't tell her what to do with her body. And the woman's body is the only body that can safely carry another human to term and into existence. So she has a right to determine what happens with her body. And then there are others who say, even though it is your body, the state has authority over that body, because the state cannot function without human beings. And because you belong to the state, and you are the only person, the only being, the only part of creation that can bring forth another human being, you also belong to us. So we will tell you what to do with that body that is yours. And when the minds cannot agree, they take it to a higher authority to find out what do the more brilliant minds think. When some say, she wouldn't want her sister husband, he would want you to. Oh, sorry. Let us continue, guys. It's always interesting when we come here to read the Bible. We always come across some rather interesting text. We're going to read this again because here it is saying that the people who are going to um, get this great deliverance neither marry nor go into marriage. Ain't that something? We notice that the priests don't marry. So this might be one of the scriptures that they use to justify them not being married. Remember Jeremiah? Jeremiah had said that God told him that he should never marry, and so he never did. He walked around with a piece of linen around his waist and claimed to be preaching and prophesying. But we're going to continue. I'm going to read again from chapter 33. Some man stay, them don't care. But it was their law, Winsome. It was their law. It wasn't like they were making it up. It was a part of their law. Let us continue. Andrea, how are you doing, my love? Let's read again from chapter 20, verse 33. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife of them is she? For 7 had her as their wife. And Jesus answering said unto them, the children of this world marry, and are given into marriage. But they which shall be accounted worthy to obtain that world and the resurrection from the dead, neither marry nor are given into marriage. So right there, so Jesus just counter this tradition of marriage. That not sound right. That if you are married, given into marriage, you're not going to inherit. You're not going to inherit this resurrection. That's strange. Neither can they die anymore, for they are equal unto the angels, and are the children of God, being the children of the resurrection. So the people who are married not gonna experience that. Now that the dead are raised, even Moses showed at the bush when he calls the Lord the God of Abraham. Interesting. Let me read that again, yeah, people. I'm going to read again from verse 27. Then came to him a certain of the Sadducees, which denied that there is any resurrection. Okay, let's continue. Then came to him certain of the Sadducees, which deny that there is any resurrection. And they asked him, saying, Master, Moses wrote unto us, if any man's brother die, having a wife, and he die without children, that his brother should take his wife, and raise up seed unto his brother. There were therefore 7 brothers. And the first took a wife, and died without children. And the second took his wife, and he died before they could have any children. And the third took the wife, and he died before they could have any children. And the fourth, and the fifth, the sixth, and the 7th brother took the wife, but they all died without having children with her. And then the wife also dies. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife of them is she? For 7, the 7 brothers had her as their wife. And Jesus answering said unto them, the children of this world marry, and are given into marriage. But they which shall be accounted worthy to obtain that world, that is the world after that resurrection, and the resurrection from the dead, neither marry nor are given into marriage. Ain't that something? Neither can they die anymore. Yeah, you know, hear this? Neither can they die anymore. This they are talking about is the people who don't marry or don't give in into marriage, what the Bible is talking about here. Neither can they die anymore, for they are equal unto angels, and are the children of God, being the children of the resurrection. Now that the dead are raised, even Moses showed at the bush, when he called the Lord the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. For he is not a God of the dead, but of the living, for all live unto him. Then certain of the scribes answered and said, Master, thou hast well said. What did Wisdom say? You see a woman competent man. Lord help me, 7 brothers in our days. No. Them would have say you are all kinds of things. Of course, yes. Because we don't follow that law. And I doubt we ever would. You understand? No. Ain't no brother gonna be taking no man gonna be taking on that responsibility. Your brother dies and you're gonna take on his wife. No, not in today's world. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. But they do it in other places, in other countries. They still follow these archaic laws of Moses. Yeah. In other countries that are close to creation, they follow these things. Our society is kind of far from creation. You know what I mean? But anyway, let us continue. Then certain of the scribes answered and said, Master, thou hast well said. And after that, they does not ask him any question at all. And he said unto them, How say they that Christ is David's son? And David himself saith in the book of Psalms, The Lord said unto my Lord, Sit thou on my right hand, till I make thine enemies thy footstool. David therefore called him Lord. How is he then his son? Then in the audience of all the people, he said unto his disciples, Beware of the scribes, which desire to walk in long robes, and love greetings in the markets, and the highest seats in the synagogue, and the chief rooms at feasts, which devour widows' houses, and for a show make long prayers. The same shall receive greater condemnation. The Pharisees are never stopping. They're never stopping from asking Jesus all these questions. They had so many questions of him. I know some people see it as them trying to badger him into into failing, because they wanted to prove to the people that he was, like a nobody. They didn't need to follow him. He wasn't any different from the other men. He wasn't any different from the prophets who had come before and they had slain or whatever. Like, he wasn't any different. So they would have contested anything that he did and anything that he said. They would try to find a counter response to it. So here is no different when they're asking him, how comes? How do they say Christ is David's son. Because here they said, and David himself saith in the book of Psalms, the Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou on my right hand. But for those of you who are not aware, why would it be that they say Christ is David's son? If you all remember when we read the genealogy of Jesus, he is indeed coming down from the line of David. So if it said that he was David's son, they're not really wrong, because remember, David was the son of Jesse. Jesse was the son of Boaz. And if you come down the line, you see that Jesus' earthly father, that Joseph, came down from the line of King David. So when they say Jesus was David's son, the amazing Emma and G is here. Bless up yourself, my sister. How are you doing? Happy Thursday. Yeah, so when they say Jesus was David's son, may not mean his immediate son, but David was indeed a forefather of Jesus per his ancestry. Okay? The amazing Emma and G's in the house. How are you doing, my love? So good to see you. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. I sincerely appreciate you. But how you come so when the reading done? We just finished reading Luke chapter 20, and that is actually the end of the reading. That is actually the end of the reading for this morning. So thank you so much. You are so welcome, my darling. I always appreciate you. Thank you so much for stopping in, for popping by. You just a wake up. You're not working today. I can't even watch you all online because y'all be having all these fruits and stuff. Oh boy, guys, when it's the summertime, anytime you see March, April rolls around, I mean, that is the time to be in Jamaica. I could have been there from March right back until October. Star apple in season, guinea pin season, mango in season, gooseberry in season, soursop, sweet sap, custody, you name it. All the fruits are in season in Jamaica right now. So I see everybody a show off them whole heap of nice big mangoes. Them a show off all of them nice big gooseberry, sunberry, jujuberry, all kind. Oh boy. Ah boy. Oh, you said sleep take you away. You probably was tired, baby. When the body is tired, it is tired. Yeah. So here we go. This is where we're going to end the reading for this morning, my friends. I want to say thanks to everybody who came into the live. I sincerely appreciate you all. If there is anything that was read this morning, Winsome said, but I'm afraid for come. I true Winsome, man. Them need to do something about the crime. Them need to do something about the crime and violence. Yes, Winsome, I kind of afraid for true. But you don't have to call me out so loud. Yeah, I'm enough to be jealous because I'm afraid for come. Oh, Lord. But we can't help it, Winsome. We can't help it. Because here, so, when we there all the way up in the bushes here, all the way up in the bushes, me not have access to like no fresh fruits and vegetables, fresh fruits rather, except me have to go to Walmart, go buy it. That Jamaica, you can always, get a fruit here, a fruit there. You have mango galore, gooseberry galore, all these things. And if you don't have none in your yard, somebody have some we willing to share with you. Or there's a tree at the roadside somewhere when it belong to nobody. It just there at the roadside where you can go and go pick. You understand? Ain't that something? Me say win some, this are more than wilderness. This are more, me say, and at these places too, they don't plant fruit trees and something. I don't know what's wrong with these people. They don't plant fruit trees. They plant one whole heap of useless trees. The trees don't even blossom so the bees can use their pollen to do something good, to make some honey. Yeah, they're like everybody planting trees that don't shed leaves. They're planting tree because them don't want to have to rake up. They don't want no fruits because if them plant fruit, it's going to attract animals, and them don't want no animals. Them, oh Lord, I tell you, I tell you. So we just gotta work with what we have. Yeah, if a Walmart, I just saw. Yeah, but that's where we are going to end, Teresa. Good morning. That's where we are going to end the reading for this morning, guys. Once again, thanks to everybody who came into the live. If there's anything that was read this morning that you don't understand, please take your time and go back and read it. Read it for yourself and get your own understanding of it. Remember, this is not a live where there is somebody preaching to you or trying to teach you about what is in the Bible. I am no theologian. I am simply trying to read this Bible on my own for myself so I know what is in it. Every day it seems like we come across some more and more interesting stuff. Yesterday we come across Jesus telling the people, them say, two men are going to be in a bed and one man is going to be taken away when this this rapture, everlasting rapture of some sort, and two men going to be in a bed, one going to be taken away and the other going to be left. Two women going to be grinding, one going to be taken away. Two men in the field and one going to be taken away. That was one startling um piece of literature here in the Bible. And then we come to Jesus sending his two disciples to go take somebody's animal without their permission. All of these things. And then now when they ask him about who shall be resurrected and go into this heaven, he says the people on earth are married and be given into marriage. What I mean by it's about context. Yeah, of course it is about context. Of course it is about context. And it's also about the word. The words. I'm reading the words off the page. Yeah, I'm reading the words off the page. And the context in which it was said. So your reasoning and justification can't trump my reasoning and justification. We just go agree to disagree. Because it is what it is. It says what it says. And I mean make it up, boo. And I mean make it up. Legends are really true. Legend I go and like say I me make it up like I me write it. Yeah, that's why you see many times me read it. Yeah. I read it many, many times so that me can get the context if me never get it the time before. And it is what it is. It says what it says. And just like down here, so in chapter 20, in chapter 20 and verse 34, and Jesus answered and said unto them, the children of the world marry and are given into marriage, but they which shall be accounted worthy to obtain that world, that is the world of resurrection and being turned into angels. He said, they that shall be accounted worthy to obtain that world and the resurrection from the dead, they neither marry nor are given into marriage. That not plain and straight. You understand? Neither can they die anymore, for they are equal unto the angels and are the children of God. And I me say it in a book, and I me say it in a legend. And the Bible say it. Remember, some only come here for read, I'm not indoctrinate nobody, I just a read. Right, Yard Foods, bless up your nice clean self, Yard Foods. Yeah, so if you can provide me with some a text or some other material that can counter what I have read and understood to be what is written, then we're good. We're good. We can do that. But for right now, I am going by what is written on these pages. And me know you tell me yesterday, you say, oh, it is the translation. Yeah, it could have been translated in other way. It said what it said. Anyway, let us continue. Oh, we finished reading. I was ready to read some more in a legend. I was ready to read some more. But we have come to the end of the reading for this morning. Once again, thanks to everybody who came into the live, the amazing M and G of blessings. I love always to you. Yard Foods, the original Yard Foods. Bless up yourself, Yard Foods. I will see you all when we come back here tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, we will be reading from St. Luke chapters 21 and, 22 long, man. 22 has 71 verses. But them kind of short. All right, so when we come back tomorrow, we will read from the book of St. Luke, chapter 21 and 22. We will read chapter 21 and 22 when we come back tomorrow. So join me tomorrow, guys. Same time, same place, when we will continue on this journey to read this Bible from the beginning to the end. Until then, my friends, thanks again to everybody who came in. This is Trev from Trevessence, where your journey matters. Have yourselves a great day, everybody, and I will see you all later. Sister M&G, Sister Yard Food, Sister Andrea, Winsome, and Cad, and Legend, and AG, and the amazing M&G, and the others in the live. Thank you all so much. Have yourselves a great day, everybody, and I will see you all later.